time now.
Every day a new day, new things, do things like my life a movie, hey. Every day new day, move things, do things like my life a movie, hey. Every day a new day, new things, do things like my life a movie, hey. Every day new day, move things, do things like my life a movie, hey.
All right. We are back. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2023.
Yeah.
We're still getting used to saying that. We're back for episode 8 of the Smoking Tingz podcast. I appreciate everybody for the support, the shares, the likes, the views. We're definitely trying to start the year off on a good foot. We got a special guest in the building, but before I get to him, of course, we're going to do our intros. I'm Ebou Taal. I'm dark skinned. I'm African. I'm a Virgo in 2023 still. And to the left of me,
Dr. Doe, Jane _Doe, you know what it is.
if you're nasty. And my cohort to my far left.
Big Rob 5826. I keep it knocking, but I may not let you in.
Hey. And it's your boy Eddie B, man. Showtime.13. Happy 2023.
Yeah. And like I said, we have a friend of ours, a special guest, like a underground living icon in the city.
I appreciate that, man.
My man James over here, otherwise known as James the Poet, the lead singer of the Future Band. We're going to get into his story, but I'm going to let you introduce yourself, give your IG, your social media, everything like that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, again, it's James Poet, originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Been living in DMV since 2007. Excited to be here. Excited to have this conversation. Yeah, man. Let's get into it.
No question, man. And I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
During the pandemic, you had me on your IG Live.
I did.
I think I was your first guy, right?
You was.
Yeah, I was your first guest on there. And that was my first interview ever, I think.
Now, look at you.
I mean, we're just having a little fun out here.
Hey.
We're just having a little fun out here. But I appreciate you coming at short notice, too.
That's all love, man.
Yeah, and happy birthday. My man just celebrated his big 4-0.
Yeah, 40.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy
man.
birthday to you, man.
Thank you. I
man.
appreciate that.
40 don't look like 40 did like 20 years ago.
Nah, not at all.
My parents.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we out here. So,
40 ball. Yeah, man.
40 ball. Yeah, it's a big one. Eddie up next month.
You up?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You up?
Batter up. But right now, it's all about James. So we're gonna get a little bit into your background.
Let's do it.
Like you said, you're from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
So just take us through, growing up, making your way to DMV, how that all happened, and then we'll get into the band situation and all that.
Absolutely. Again, man, thank you so much for just having me here.
Yeah, no question, man.
When Ebou told me that y'all was doing the podcast now, I wanted to jump at the opportunity to do it because Ebou, he showed love to me when I was doing a podcast during the pandemic. So I wanted to make sure, my man always show up. Anytime I ask him to show up, he always show up. So, I want to make sure that it's residual,
Already.
But yeah, from Fayetteville, North Carolina, born and raised, went to school in Greensboro, went to North Carolina A&T. Yeah, I mean, as far as music, man, I did all the high school, all city choirs, state choirs. I went and did an all Europe choir when I was living in Germany. I was the only black person out there at the time.
Wait, this was in college?
This was in high school.
In high school.
In high school, I went to school in Germany.
Okay. How'd that happen?
My father.
Your brat.
Yeah. My pops.
He knows the lingo.
My pops was in the military, so we was out there for 2 years. And when I was out there, I did all Europe choir. Came back home to North Carolina. I finished out in Fayetteville, Pine Forest. And then from there, I studied music at North Carolina A&T. Got my degree in music business.
Nice.
When I was out there, I was in a band called Beautiful Experience. Mm-hmm. We did big things in North Carolina. We was one of the biggest bands in North Carolina.
What year was that?
This was 2005, 2004, 2005.
That's right after I left.
Yeah.
I left North Carolina I graduated in 2003, but I stayed in North Carolina for a year after that because I had a job at the university. So I left there in 2005 to come back to DC.
What school did you do? At Duke.
Yeah.
Shout out to Duke, man.
Yeah, Durham. Bull City, baby.
Bull City. Shout out Bull City. So yeah, I finished my degree out there, and everybody that I was in the band with was from this area. And so they encouraged me to move up this way. And so 2007, I decided to move up here. I started out rocking with a few different go-go bands. Shout out Dynasty Bands. Shout out to MTM. Shout out to TCB. I played guitar for TCB for a minute.
I didn't even know you played guitar.
Yeah, I played guitar with TCB, man. They really, really showed me like the city.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
TCB, they embraced me because I wasn't, it was interesting because I wasn't from here. So I didn't know how that transition was going to go, but they really, really embraced me. Shout out to Bo and the whole team. That was my cousin Johnny who played bass for them right now. And so,
how many instruments you play?
I just play guitar and I sing.
Okay.
Yeah. So working with TCB,
I talk more, man.
I know, man. They get on me all the time.
Yeah.
But you know, I always lean on people who really do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all cuss on me?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I don't know.
No chase.
No, it's called Smoking Tingz Podcast. All smoke, no chasers. So
Facts.
go.
Respect. So just seeing how they was moving, I was like, you know, I enjoy playing the guitar, but I'm a singing nigga. And also it was like, I want my own shit. I can't be under the shadow of anybody else. And that was like, you know, R.I.P. Polo. And then you got Bo. And so I was like, I love what I'm watching and seeing with Bo, but I always want to do my own shit. And so 2010, I started my own band, Future Band DC. And we started out real small. We was on U Street back when Indulge was around. You remember Indulge?
Yeah.
So we was
currently Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So we was in Amsterdam, Indulge at the time, every Thursday.
Yeah.
And
I think that's where I met you, actually.
You did?
Yeah.
We was opening up for Black Alley.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let me rewind that. So before I even started the band, I saw Black Alley play at a little open mic joint out Mount Rainier, Maryland. And I was like, this is the type of shit I want to do. So I broke away from kind of doing the go-go thing and started trying to fine-tune the R&B stuff.
Right.
And so I got a small group of guys together. It was like 4 of us. So we was doing Thursdays at Indulge for like a year. And then I met my man Doyle, Brian Doyle. He played the trombone. Yeah. He's still in the band. And so he had a horn section that they was just doing brass stuff called Musically Inclined. So I had a conversation with him. I was like, you know, we need to merge what we're doing. And so that's how we got like kind of the big band sound with the 4 or 5 horns and just the big back line. So,
and sorry, not to cut you off, but that's actually what I love about your band in particular is that you guys, it's not just like the guitar, the drum, the lead singer, and like a bass. Or something. You guys have a whole, like, was it 4 or 5 piece horn section?
5 piece.
5 piece horn section, like 2, 3 guitars. Your drum is crazy.
Yeah, shout out Raphael, man.
Yeah, Raphael is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like just y'all putting that together, like that's really how I started listening to y'all and paying attention to what you were doing because it's a big sound.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, and I love that. So I just, you know, that was a great addition.
I appreciate that, man. So we locked in, and my bass player at the time, he was the assistant band director at Howard. So we would just go up to Howard and do all our rehearsals, and then just being exposed to the musicians from Howard and from UDC, and from even the high schools, Eastern High School. I just grew as a musician. And then over time, we just continued to just develop the sound. And I just love this shit so much that I just kept pushing. And so we here today, still rocking.
That's what it is. And you don't see a lot of bands. I mean, you guys, Black Alley. I mean, obviously, like the go-go bands in DC, but you know, for that amount of people to stay together for that amount of years, that's hard.
Absolutely, man.
So, I mean, kind of like take us through how that process was, like going through. I'm sure you went through different, maybe guitarists or drummers.
Absolutely.
Or this person and that person to get it to where you are, like right now.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we had musicians go to prison. We had musicians, do the grown-up shit with, they start having families. We had people who get new jobs and they just move away.
Right.
And so, it was some struggles here and there to maintain musicians. There was a point where I was just subbing so many people in.
Yeah.
People started coming to the shows just to see who was going to show up, But I had a vision, and I wanted to stick to it.
Yeah, you kept that shit together.
So after a while, I found my core group of people, and this core group might take me through the next 3-4 years, and then life happens, and then I find another group, and then just take me through the next 3 years.
Yeah.
And
that's interesting though, like that band life that, like you said, like. It might be 3 or 4 years and stuff changes. And I mean, that's just life in general, right? But I think with bands, it probably happens, first of all, in the forefront because everybody sees you.
Yeah.
And then what happened to?
Where's
he at?
Yeah.
So like, how do you deal with that?
So, I mean,
and how do you keep the same sound and same identity of the, same identity of the situation?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah. So, I built a rapport with my band. Like when at my birthday, right? My Congo player, shout out to Ian. They call him the Michael B. Jordan of Congos. But he was like, "Yo, you a really good leader for the band." I said, "Well, I'm really a servant of the band, and so I just make sure I accommodate everybody so well that I've been blessed to have circumstances where if somebody was leaving, they just like, hey, I can't be here no more, but my man." I want to put him in the pocket. You gonna love him.
Yeah, that's a good way to keep talent rolling.
You keep the talent rolling.
I got a question for you though. I ain't gonna cut you off.
No, you good.
By me knowing, like, I grew up listening to go-go's, going to the go-go's and all that. But I know that Chuck is from North Carolina.
He is.
And it was that what drove you to think about coming to the district. I mean, and hop right in the go-go like that.
So. Originally, it was because the people from DC who went to A&T, who was like, bro, you belong up this way, bro. Just come. I don't got no job. I don't got, I came over here with $500 in my pocket, moved in with a shorty, and she held me down for maybe 2 years, and then I found my way. But then as I learned about Chuck Brown, I just loved that, I fell in love with his story and how he was able to make a way coming from the same place that I came from. Right. And so I did try to, I wanted to mimic that a little bit. Like, how did he find his way to be so notable coming from somewhere that I'm from?
Because I was thinking guitarist. North Carolina, there's too many similarities.
Facts.
Between y'all, the love of music, your own personal sound, these type of things, like it's really like it's inherent, you know what I'm saying, when you come from a particular area.
Yeah.
I mean, North Carolina is super famous for a lot of artists that then came from there and moved here. That's just
Fact.
DC is Carolina based. People don't realize.
It is. Everybody I meet up here got family down south in North Carolina.
For sure. Some kind of ties down there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it's just a presence here in DC that will teach you how to be the best type of musician. It's a lot of amazing musicians up here that if I wasn't up here, I wouldn't have been exposed to that level of musicianship. So shout out to the city, shout out to the whole DMV, Maryland, and Virginia. And he taught me so much along the way.
Well, going off of what you just said, the music, the live music scene in DC, like, what do you, how do you think it's changed? Is it better now than it was when you first started? Is it, because I know, like, at some point, live music kind of in DC was, like, dying off or, maybe not dying off is not the right word.
Well, you got a lot of spots that were closing, like Blues Alley.
Right,
exactly.
You got a lot of,
and you got to remember something. if you really do the history of U Street, you do the history of DC period, man, you'd be so shocked who played here. My mother sang background for Smokey Robinson for 8 years.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right, you know what I'm saying? She passed away. Matter of fact, today my little brother's birthday. He's deceased too. So
Happy birthday.
Yeah, but it's kind of like this is like music here.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I grew up, man, I'm talking about, and the choirs were everywhere, and the church presence, the whole Bible Belt stretching from Carolina on down like that. Like, people came here. They had what he'll tell you about the chilling circuit. If you did your homework, they had what they call the chilling circuit. When you had, my mother, when she performed with Smokey, they couldn't eat, and then they had to eat in the kitchen. Even though they performed for the white people out front, they had to eat in the kitchen. So she would tell me all these stories about how good and great the music is. And music is definitely a key to the soul. In fact, my mother been gone for a while now, right? But whenever I sing in the shower and sound crazy, I can still hear her voice.
That's real.
And I think that's a blessing.
That is a blessing. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I mean, you know, music feeds our soul. It's the soundtrack to our lives. You know what I mean? Like, facts. There's no R&B song or, you know, I love reggae and all that stuff too, like, that you can put on that I don't remember exactly where I was,
That's right.
what age I was,
That's crazy.
who I had a crush on, who were my friends.
That's crazy.
Like, all of that. You know what I mean? And 20 years from now,
That's crazy.
when I hear a Migos song, I'm gonna be like, oh, I was in Eddie and Barcode that time. We were crazy. Yeah. Jane was over there too with her girl. Yeah. Like that music, like, we don't need no, like, it's a bookmark.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's, you know, it's music is my favorite thing in the world.
Facts.
And I've always been that way. I don't know, like, my parents played music all the time. That's how I got into reggae music. My mom used to get mixtapes from her friends.
Yeah.
Played in Hyundai, before Elantras. What was this? I don't even remember. No, before that. I don't even remember. It was a 1988 hatchback.
It was right. It was a Hyundai. That's what it was.
Tape, and we were rocking out all the way till she took me to school. And like,
you remember Sundays when your mama clean up?
Yeah,
you knew the cleanup music. You know, and then you remember when you were young, music meant so much. Your parents would grab your hands and dance with you.
Right. Yeah.
Dance with me.
Thanks.
Sing with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Black people in general, we have a spirituality about us, right? It's crazy. It's amazing. Even when you want a kid to learn something, if you sing him a jingle, you teach him a jingle, he'll learn it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna make you laugh at this. I went to Douglas Junior High in Southeast, right? Pretty rough when I went there. But we had a music teacher named Mr. Chalmers. Hell of a name for a music teacher, Mr. Chalmers. And I remember I had a few people in my class that was in the Bird Farms Junkyard Band at the time.
Oh.
We were kids then. We were young. So one of the people who were in the band, he couldn't read music, you know, and the kids couldn't read music then either. When Mr. Chalmers found that out, he used that against us. He said, hey, because they had just made a commercial, you know what I'm saying? And it was just, the music was pumping there. And he said something to my folks about not being able to read music. And he's like, you're so sharp. And he was like, no, I can hear it one time and I can, he said, that sounds good. But the fact that you love music that much, you make your money off music, and you're so young and you can't read music, I'm surprised. He tricked us into learning how to read music.
Oh, that's so you can read.
Amazing. Slightly. I'm not like I used to be when I was young. But imagine it opened up a whole new world. Everything you could actually play behind somebody because you knew how to read music. People don't realize having a good ear is a must if you're gonna be any type of musician. You know that. Yeah. But imagine teaching a kid that can read music already, or teaching them how to read music. Yeah. Opening up a world to them. You know, I know you graduated, so you read it upside down if you want. But
I do all right.
Right.
I do all right.
But you feel what I'm saying, though. Imagine it's a hard sell to kids these days.
But you know what you said about he said, this is what you do, you make your money off of this. That's another thing, like when I moved up here, it was like everybody was hip to, they had an ear for music. Everybody, even if you don't do it, you got an ear for it. And so it just kept me so sharp on my stuff, because if I wasn't doing the right thing, somebody who would never study music from this area could still hear if I did something wrong.
That's right.
And I pay attention to everything. I watch people's facial expressions when we playing certain songs. If I hear something that ain't right, I can notice if somebody can hear it in the crowd like, shit.
So I have a controversial question now.
Talk about it.
Because that's just what we do.
That's what you do.
If you said that DC, a lot of people here are like really good in the music and all this stuff, why are there not more artists that are mainstream?
So one thing that you touched on is that like it was closing of a lot of venues that supported the arts. I feel like right now, today, that there are a lot more artists that are pushing the envelope forward. When I came here, Wale was that guy. You know, and he is that guy, excuse me. But, you know, that was him and Raheem was those guys. And so I feel like, you know, they opened the doors, but
Tabby Bonet was doing his thing too.
Shout out.
You had Stacey Ladisar, you got Johnny Gill, you got a lot of people from here, Marvin Gaye.
I ain't even know
you got people from here.
They don't claim
They from here and they don't. Well, we don't say claim.
That's where it starts.
Let's stop the claim part because
that's where it starts.
We can't do the claim thing. Music is so fluid that you'll be surprised where you will be tomorrow. Like Just Paul. Like I'm from DC.
This is where I grew up. This is where I learned. This is the church I went to. This is blah blah.
Can I ask you a question? Well, what if your support didn't come from there? Like for instance, he opened up saying he has love for North Carolina because his support came from there. DC's problem is with any other spot. The schools are being underfunded. The music departments are being underfunded. They have been underfunded. I'm 51. They've been underfunded since I was young. So I know that every time they want to cut something, they cut music. If you think I'm lying,
no, you're right.
Y'all can look into this. They cut sports and they cut music.
For sure.
And they know we're spiritual people. We're athletic. We're all of the above. And they take these things from us. Go ahead,
okay, so if that's understood right then whoever was from here that made it somewhere else should know that it's talent from here because I'm from here.
And then put it up.
Let me come back and let me put on the show.
Put on the spotlight.
Let me see what's going on just like in all these other places that they got it going on at.
Man, I can't even argue. I can't knock it, but I do say this. Look at him. He looks like us. He looks like, what I mean by that, you got a flavor about you that the youngest can relate to. The New Balance, the nice watch, the chains. You cannot attract, you know what I'm saying, what you can't attract. I have to be, if I want to pull somebody in, I can't have a bow tie and a suit on if I'm not trying to attract bow tie and suit people. You know what I'm saying? With us as people, we covet what we see.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you covet what you see. So if I'm trying to reach out to somebody, when I speak at schools, I used to go to speak at Scared Straight programs and stuff. When I pull up to speak, the first thing the kids want to talk about is what I drove here.
Of course.
Right?
Oh, okay.
And so that's fine. That's fine. And that's a good icebreaker for us, but for you to get a understanding. It's like with basketball. When Eddie goes to speak, I went with Eddie somewhere. Eddie had to play ball somewhere. You don't even remember. And we were away. He comes to the team. Instantly, everybody was offended when they saw him. Height, size, look, everything. He was so smooth about how he implemented himself onto the team that he had to win them over. You have to do that with music.
What, in DC?
No, matter of fact, we were in Virginia, but we weren't close. We were away. My whole point being is, man, listen, you cannot bang a square peg into a circle. It does not work that way. You have to show some type of, I understand your culture, I see where you're coming from, for you to see where I'm coming from. And if you don't extend that hand, then it'll get rejected. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is music is universal, right?
Well, he still hasn't answered the question. Y'all said,
I'm sorry, I apologize. We went around
Let's get back to it.
Right. And I didn't let it go. I didn't let it go. It's another thing. So for bands, because I'm in a band.
Okay.
You can make a lot of money right here in the city. You could play 5 nights a week and make a bag because people coming out. You try to step out of town and you might not make that same bag. So a lot of bands get stuck here because the money's so good. They're like, I'd rather be rich than famous. And so sometimes it's hard to break away from getting that type of bag to step out and expose yourself to different areas.
Okay.
That's my experience.
I like that. That's a really good explanation. That's
good answer.
Because I used to wonder why
we need another roots, man.
That's one. Two,
we need another roots.
Sometimes we get caught up in doing cover music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely get caught up in doing cover music. And I'm not talking about like artists, single artists, but strictly with bands. We'll smash a cover better than the artist who created it.
Right.
And we get so much love for that. It becomes our own in our mind.
Right.
And that we forget to create our own music. And so
we famous flow.
Yeah.
And that might be
the songs we like.
Like when you mentioned Raheem,
culture.
like when you
No,
mentioned,
it's for sure.
But one thing about it,
Go-go bands
DC
covered.
but hear me out. But some of the best songs you ever heard
I mean, no, a lot of
weren't cover
I
songs.
grew up
They were,
on
like you said, they were original songs.
It all depends.
Like when
on
Chuck
the
did his
era and
thing,
age group.
Yeah.
It was all, not
Chuck
all
was
original.
most
Let me
of
say
it
that.
original.
A lot of it was original.
For sure.
So I don't know.
Who was the band in school days?
What you
Doing
mean?
the butt.
Oh, that was EU.
EU.
All right, that was their own song, right?
But some bands do have their own songs, and then a lot of bands do spend a lot of
Just don't
time
get
on
stuck
cover
with the cover.
music.
Yeah. So
I think a lot of
that's deep though.
Well,
That's
I don't know. I think a lot of bands try to get people's ear with the cover music,
right.
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, well, this is our shit," and then try
But
to.
sometimes
it's
it don't
hook
be
and reel.
enough of their own
It's definitely
shit.
hook and reel with music.
It don't be enough of their own shit. That's the thing.
Well,
They're actually creating more of your own shit. versus
Like when
just
you
covers.
talked about Raheem, to me, man, I can't think of a lot of people that can out-sing him. It seems like certain people, you would think that he should be so big, and that's just me saying it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
but he's gotten there. He's gotten.
Yeah,
up
he
there.
saw it.
He's been on Jimmy Kimmel. He's getting.
but I'm talking about like, I love his music so much that I think, like,
whatever happened in between.
We
is
just
what
not
happened.
seeing them. We just not seeing them.
No, I've seen. Well, I don't know with Raheem. Because back when Wale and Tabby and all these guys were coming up, like Raheem was one of them for me. Like I had all of them in a showcase.
He was wrong.
He was everywhere. We saw him.
And then he he was on HUR.
That's right.
Like everything.
That's right.
So. We see them. I don't know if the nation see. Like I paid attention because he was from here and he was doing his thing. Raheem's on Jimmy Kimmel. Oh shit, I'm turning to Jimmy Kimmel.
Absolutely,
for sure. So I don't know if like everybody else resonates like that and thinks of Raheem like that. And he's an amazing artist and amazing musician.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like he's dope to me and he's a humble guy. Like you guys remind me like of each other for real. Like you guys are
appreciate
just.
That.
Like you just be chilling, but you are about making your music, and making it good.
Thank you.
So I don't know. Is there something about DC? I don't know if it's geographically because we're in the middle between the North and the South.
I think it's a support issue.
It is. Yeah.
No, man, you got Tony. You got a lot of artists. Y'all just ain't
it's a support issue.
You got
talking about a support issue from the standpoint of the people behind you.
Yeah.
Like you can say we have a lot of artists, but guess what? People move away to other states just so they can make it big.
Mm-hmm.
So if people have to keep doing that, that means there's a support issue here. That has nothing to do with having talent. That means that people are not making it here.
And let me say this: it's a lot of A&Rs from here.
Yeah.
Today. And they be around, they be outside.
I mean, we don't even have to hide who they like. Dre the Mayor has Atlantic in his pocket.
No question.
That's my man.
I mean, before Chucky died, Chucky did so much stuff with Bad Boy. You got like a lot of people.
Yeah, but they doing it with people that's not from here.
But you be surprised.
It's not that's from here.
Like I know people that sell music from here too.
We know the stories. We know the artists. You feel me?
No question.
And we know what they say. And it's just a support problem, like Jane said. But why?
But is that everywhere?
No, I think it's more importantly here because the amount of artists that I know have moved away and gotten way bigger.
Memphis got a sound. Atlanta, Philly, New York,
right here.
So my whole point is everybody has a
right
sound.
here.
Yeah,
but it's not like
they have motion. They got a flow.
Okay,
like they got artists that come from there regularly.
Right, but what I'm saying, listen, hold on. No disrespect. I definitely agree with y'all that the support can be greater. I agree that like we said, a lot of places been closed, a lot of venues, they had a lot of live music. I agree with all of that. But at the same time, I don't like, me personally, I hate a jumble scene. I hate a scene where there's so much that you can produce garbage and trash and not get that clear, that sound you guys are giving up. I look for that. I'm sorry, I grew up, when I get pissed. I can tell you artists, and I won't mention them, who are famous, and I went to their shows and they're highly disappointed.
I agree. There's plenty of artists here that they need to go work for USPS. Yeah. But also there are artists here that work for USPS and they could be doing something else.
Put them on the track, pimp.
Like, I'm just saying, like, yes, if somebody makes bad music, then we should be able to tell them. Like, yeah, I made a song, most of you heard, and I said, I'm Vanilla Ice. People say on me, the song sounds good. I said, I'm Vanilla Ice. That's not my business. Somebody else should be more to the forefront. But see, some people don't know when they say that that's not their business.
It's real.
Right.
It's real.
Like, I'm going to give you, like, for me, like, personally, like, because I've been in
don't break
nightlife.
You like, you better break out singing there.
First of all, God knew not to give me.
You start doing this.
You can
do it, man.
Yeah. Look, you give him a shot. You give him a shot.
OMG.
You give him a shot.
Nah, but like a lot of people, like a lot of artists, always, because I'm a promoter, they're like, "Oh, can you like promote my music?" And this is, I'm like, and I always keep it real. I'm like, I'm not, and I tried it before. I'm like, and I have certain connections here and there, but I'm like, I'm not a A&R. Yeah. I am not a music anything manager, nothing. I know nothing about this business except for I can promote you when you get big. Or when you're starting to, you know what I mean? So many, until this day, and I hate saying that to people because I feel like it disappoints them, but I'm like, this is not what I do.
But a lot of people here don't want to do the work either.
Let me say that.
I'm not just going to make it about support, but a lot of here, they don't want to do the work.
I've been in the same position you talking about being in, right? And what I did was I realized that I didn't do that. That's not my thing. And I'm some artists that went on to be great successes. But what I do is, it's kind of weird. I always try to give them the best advice I can. If possible, point them in the direction. But also, I let them use my cars. Like, I mean, it's a lot of artists out here. And I won't go down the line because I don't know if that affect them mentally or whatever if I say something. But a lot of cars that you see in a lot of these videos, I'm talking about since 2000.
We use your car in my cousin Uz's video.
Right, but I'm just saying.
The all of them.
But what I'm saying is, but I mean, what I'm saying is, no, it's not. It's not that. It's not that. But what I'm saying is, I try my best to help the young brothers. Yeah. But let me tell you something. But I also get, when people move on to the next level, I remember one of the young boys passing me by, and he walked past me. I had to reach out and grab his hand and pull him back. And I said, I know I'm a little guy and I'm easy to miss. And he had to turn around and say, I apologize, OG. I said, okay. Because I remember when you came to me and you asked me, and I'm talking about Memphis guys and everything. And it's sad because one of the biggest guys, I didn't think he remembered me. And we did a show in Miami. And when he walked past,
the real ones are always going to remember me.
He turned around and he said, this you, OG?
How come they are?
And I was like, yeah. He said, I got you. He supposed to do a walkthrough because he charged him at that time $40-something thousand just to do a walkthrough for 30 minutes. You know what he did? He went inside, gave me 7 songs, and stayed for 3 hours. When he came outside, man, he said, I hope you made your money. And to me, it was a profound effect. But I feel like a lot of young guys here, you got to be, it's a thin line between you. You're supposed to have that feel like you're walking on air. But man, don't walk on people because it's you rarely get somebody, like me personally, I've never charged a person a single dime to use any vehicle, to use any crib or anything that I have that I can make accessible. Jewelry, I would take jewelry off me to make you look good in your video because the biggest thing I care about is you being successful. But if your success comes at the detriment of somebody else, then that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good thing.
You charge it now.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
He says,
we charge it now.
2023, I want 5% of whatever you make in life. I don't care if you start up.
We're signing contracts.
No question. James gonna sign you. 5% of whatever you make in life.
Some paperwork.
Yeah, no, it is that.
No question.
But James, so like like I said, like me, when I was in middle school, high school.
Yeah.
Outside of like sports.
Yeah.
If I could have been anything else, R&B motherfucker singer.
So
swear to God, I used to fall asleep every night. I used to fall asleep with my headphones on. I broke every headphone I've ever had. Whether they were $5 or $100.
He said, "What was your go-to?
What was your song?
What was your go-to? What you sing?
Wait.
Your favorite.
No.
Then.
The Jodeci version of "If You Think You're Lonely Now."
Oh shit, he hit it, Joe.
Yeah.
Wait.
Give him a sample, Jay.
Yeah, the Jodeci version.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Love Talking Slow Jams.
Okay.
Oh my
Talk
God,
about it.
bro.
Talk about it.
No question, no
And I
question.
had my headphones on.
Oh man, the demon one is here.
I Prince Dejour.
Oh,
Talking
my
about
boy, Prince, man. That's
all
my
of
name,
that.
man.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely showing my age.
42.
Me
Yeah.
and Prince be together every day. That's my buddy, man.
Yeah.
Growing up, man.
Listen, that's what I was listening to every night before.
That is
I'm talking
amazing.
about in middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th, all the way through. My mom used to have to come to my room and take my headphones off my ear
Yeah.
if I didn't break them already. Because I love R&B music so much. Usher and all the way to Chris Brown and all them. Like, if I could have been anything else.
You don't touch on nothing old. You didn't like no old music,
No,
bro?
I mean, come on, Teddy Pendergrass and all that shit. Come on,
There you
man.
go.
We're not even talking about
I
that.
need to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm an R&B head.
There you go.
Outside of reggae, I'm R&B. Period.
No question.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he knows I know my shit.
Look at him. He
Yeah.
said, don't offend
Yeah,
me.
don't
I
please.
apologize.
Yeah.
Put the drinks down. Look.
But yeah, if I could have been anything else, I would have been a singer. But I knew I was in choir when I was in like elementary school and all that.
Okay.
But I knew I just didn't have it. But if I could have, oh my God. But God knew not to put me in that position because I would have been probably a
You've
reckless.
been the one who wouldn't talk to me.
I would've
You
been-
wouldn't talk to me. I'd be had to grab your wrist.
I don't know.
Hey, buddy, where you going?
I don't even know who or what I would have been.
You would have been a hoochie.
I would have.
You hear that?
Yeah.
That's basically what he gets.
Yeah, I would have been Bobby Brown.
Without the drug.
Oh,
Bobby
no.
Brown was one of my favorite artists. Matter of fact,
Brown,
yeah, all that.
Hey,
I had
I
leather shoes and all that.
do want to ask you something because this is crazy, right? I had a full interview with somebody a long time ago, and they were talking about roadies and groupies.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
what I was
then
getting.
you gotta understand groupies. We use groupies in the most negative term possible now. And that wasn't what it was like growing up. Growing up, groupies were women who followed the band around, but they were supported the band. Roadies helped set up the equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So imagine in my age,
got a few groupies.
yeah, but the term groupies is so derogatory now. And when we use it like the nasty, but without somebody supporting you. You know what I'm saying? To that extent,
Listen, man.
then you wouldn't be where you are today.
Facts.
Big
facts.
Thank you.
Big
You know what I mean?
facts.
Because all of
There's
us had
nothing
to
wrong
find
with it.
somebody. We was like, you know what?
There's nothing wrong with
I'm promoting his music indirectly or directly.
Wow.
Because you can't do this by yourself. You need help.
That's how they all started though.
You need help.
You have to have that.
You need
have
help.
to. You have to.
But you hear people using such a bad term. Yeah, it ain't nothing but a bunch of groupies. I'm like, bruh, slow down. If somebody didn't like you, didn't want to watch you play ball, didn't want to watch you sing, didn't want to watch you perform, you show me where you would be without them.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I'm gonna tell you something, man. You go see this brother and this band play. You gonna go every week.
Yeah.
Because that's how I found out about him, man. I went this summer with Ebou.
Appreciate you being there, man.
12 stories.
Appreciate you being
It
there.
was 12 stories, right?
No, it was at
Moy.
Yeah.
It started
Nah,
there.
you killed it more. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah, one day.
So, I used to see a bunch of high school friends. So just like, we talked about they used to be like, man, Eddie used to be in this band. So Eddie. But he used to tell me to come back in the day when y'all was together before, he started with the family and all that. But, it was good seeing him at 12 Stories.
Absolutely.
The last time y'all played there, you know what I'm saying? And I was telling him about it. I said, man, I came to see your band. You weren't there, though.
EY, he'll always be in the band.
Yeah.
Always. That's my brother.
For sure.
He on grown man time. He doing what he got to do, but he will always be in the band. Anytime I hit him up and be like, hey, this is something special, I need you to show up, he gonna show up.
That's love.
All the time. Every single time.
But what's it like being the lead singer?
Yeah.
With the groupies, with the band. I mean, you already talked about the business part of it.
Wait a minute. I really want to get back to you asked like a really important question.
Okay.
And I feel like I just
we was talking about groupies, and the way you looked at me, I didn't know where this was going.
Whoa, nothing groupie. But you were saying like how a lot of artists might not make it out of here. I don't think people realize how many hats you got to wear when it comes to doing music. You can't just do music. Like you got to be. I have to understand marketing. You got to understand digital content. You got to understand how to have a conversation to promote yourself, to do gigs. You got to understand contracts. You got to understand your worth. You got to understand what to charge people. You got to understand deposits. You just got to.
I completely agree with you. But I think also here, we like a lot of people, I say people who are artists are not supposed to be on the business side. No, because if you are a true artist, you're supposed to know it, but I don't think that should be your focus. You should be focused on being an artist and then have someone that you trust that is responsible. But you should still understand
the history of the business that showed you that's not the right way to go.
Yeah, but that's what I say. You should still be able to understand it.
The history of the business. I mean, we can name some of the greatest artists that we've known of our time.
Yeah, it's not the way to go as far as being the artist and not doing the business, or being the artist, knowing the business and letting somebody else handle that on a day-to-day basis. Because that's what she's saying.
But like he went to school. So being business savvy, understanding contracts, understanding it's a lot of traps that people are put in. And these people are not stupid. Like Prince wasn't stupid. Mike wasn't stupid.
Facts.
So these weren't dumb people. These people, they were actually outfoxed by somebody who were doing their homework on this side of the business. So what I'm saying
Which is why you need somebody that can do 24/7 that.
No, and that but you also trust. Need to have at least a small understanding.
But that's what I said. You should still be able to understand. But, I feel like if you're an artist, you should be able to focus on being an artist. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be stressed in the middle of the night because, oh my gosh, I need to drop content at 8 a.m.
Absolutely.
Like, oh my gosh, I need to shoot this video and I don't have any outfits. That like somebody has to wear hats.
I respect that.
And plus to add to what you're saying, a lot of guys just don't know. And they need somebody else. It's like the yin and yang. We might work perfect together. I might be able to walk in them rooms and shake hands with them people. You might not be comfortable doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, we watched a Lil Baby documentary and he was nervous about doing the performances on stage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He used to say, man, DJ, man, you talk to the crowd. You get them, But now he's to the point where he rocking that shit with his eyes.
What I'm saying is when it comes to anything from any profession that you involve yourself in, when it comes to entertainment, if you want to be a singer, if you're a basketball player, football player, when it's all over said and done, they blame the athlete or the artist for not being savvy enough in business to control their finances and understand what they're signing.
Yes.
Facts.
Nobody feels sorry for you when you sign something and didn't do your homework. Yeah. First of all, most times not a gun to your head. Mm-hmm. You got a time to take this, have somebody look over it, but have the common knowledge to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Facts.
I didn't say you had to learn it. Just be able to pick the contract up and say, I'll be right back.
Did y'all see the interview with Jadakiss that they just dropped? Yeah. Where he was with his dad?
Oh, yeah. I ain't gonna watch that shit.
Joe Budden drum, right?
The Joe, I
haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, and his dad talked him out of his first deal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the parents of the Locks got together and got an entertainment lawyer to look over the contracts before they signed it, and they didn't sign their first deal because the parents got together. It's so important for an artist to understand what they're looking at. Mm-hmm. I agree with you in that you should get a professional that has your best interest in mind in order to really look over this stuff. But you got to have a certain level of understanding in the forefront to be able to be recognized. Like, come on, man, I'm not gonna sign this shit. Like,
but some people are so pressed to just make it that they be signing anything.
They don't get a mistake.
And you don't know, you don't even own the shirt on your back.
Deals, 360 deals and stuff like that are ridiculous. But with that being said, it got them on the forefront.
But then you don't own nothing. You don't have no money. You don't own your shirt. You don't own your shoes.
Say it again. TLC is the best.
Ignorance
they sold more albums than any female group in the history. What?
But you gotta understand that, like, the people who are leveraging these people understand that they are not coming from a position where they have leverage. Yeah. You're talking to people who don't have the means, who are trying to acquire the means, and you're telling them, hey, look, I'm going to drop a bag of $500,000 or 2 point whatever mil in front of you, and you got $2,000 in your account or $500
or no money,
or you're living out
no money. You just got a single. That's it. No money in a single.
I'm giving you a time limit. Yeah. The time limit is now. It ain't 24 hours. It ain't 40 hours.
And by the way,
it's a 10-year deal.
Yeah. By the way, you got the support system.
10 album deal.
Yeah, your outfits, your studio time, your travel.
By the way, you got studio time.
Your travel, everything is on you. Yeah.
That cigarette. That deal. I just watched this Elvis, the Elvis movie last night. That's Grammy nominated, and I don't normally watch those type of movies because it's too overhyped. But they were talking about the Colonel and Elvis and the deal. Yeah. First of all, the Colonel had 50% of everything Elvis ever did.
That's crazy.
When Elvis said when he was just tired and in Vegas in his room in the dark place with drugs, he said, "I'm done with this." The Colonel went itemized. He's like, that flyer, $1.80. Da-da-da-da-da. It went up to $8.5 million. From $1.80 to whatever he paid for ever. Flight, this, your man, that drink, whatever. He itemized everything. So that's when Elvis said, his dad actually was his business manager, said, we're broke. Wow. We have to go back to him or we are not going to, he's going to take Graceland and everything, right? So he ended up going back. Elvis was like, man, fuck it. Let's just go back.
Ride it out. There's a lot of artists like that.
3 weeks later, he died.
But I'm gonna tell you,
he overdosed.
But I'm gonna show you how rough it gets. You can take Maurice Starr. You remember New Edition when New Edition got Maurice Starr brought New Edition out. He worked them so hard that I believe it was some Betamaxes. Remember the Betamax before VHS?
The tapes, yeah.
That's where they ended up getting paid. Just think about somebody paying you in Betamaxes or something stupid like that. Like individual, we're not talking about create something.
Yeah, you're from the hood. Your parents don't know shit.
What I'm saying is,
like,
what I'm saying is,
what are we signing?
But when New Edition got on though, right? When you got Bell Biv DeVoe and all these different, they worked the artists behind them. I don't remember.
Yeah,
we can name. Yeah,
that they was bringing up.
What I'm trying to tell you is what happened to them. It was almost like child molestation. You got molested. You molest somebody else. You keep molesting.
I don't think we should use that.
What I'm saying is that it never stopped. The denigration and the usury of our people never stopped. I ain't trying to be funny, but it's mainly 9 times out of 10 is black people. It's
not just black people.
Let me finish what I'm trying to say.
White people doing it too.
I didn't say that.
I disagree with that.
I'm talking about the ones getting used.
It's black people not knowing the business, and it's the white people putting the contracts in front of us that we don't understand. In the 70s,
but whose fault is that, bro?
I don't know.
It's all fault. It's all fault if you don't know.
You can't blame.
No. If you don't know, you don't know. So until you're educated, and let's talk about today. Nowadays, man, you can jump on the TikTok, you can jump on the social media, and you can hear somebody explain their story. Right. You can hear somebody break down how business go now. Right. So you can learn. Exactly. So any artists that don't know today, that's on them. You know what I'm saying?
Even in 2000, that didn't exist.
You know how many?
Didn't exist.
You know how many?
Everything was in the room.
Hold up. You know how many athletes that I know that came out of college, that got degrees, that couldn't take you to the DMV and get tags on their car?
For sure.
You know how many athletes I know that couldn't, I use athletes because that's mainly who, we see a lot right out front. Yeah. I done took the car dealerships and they don't know how to purchase a car. Yeah. They don't understand compounding interest about purchasing a house.
They never
stuff
had
like
to do
that.
it.
But what I'm trying to tell you is when the show is all over, when all the music stops and the ball stop rolling, they're only going to ask you who's at fault. The only person at fault is the artist himself.
At the end of the day, for sure.
So because you get complacent, you get stuck in it.
Let me bring it back around for y'all.
Give it to me.
So when y'all was talking about like what's the problem with DC? Like why aren't more people from the city getting on? It's that when athletes go to the league, the Players Association, whatever, etc. They have certain things in place where the information is available, right? What you choose is what you choose. Now here, what we should start doing, a solution to the problem is if the artist that make it from here decide to say, this is the bags that I got tricked out of, this is how I got fucked over, they could create, at least at minimum, the information pool, library to say, this is what you should be asking your lawyers. This is what you should be looking for from your
It's happening.
It's happening now?
Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
These are the types of things you should be looking for in your contract. Chameleonaire said he got out of his contract because he threatened Universal that he would tell every artist friend he had about
auditing.
Yeah. And they dropped him and let him go. They let him go out of his contract, and he never disseminated the information.
But he never, exactly.
Granted, he put it online after
10 years later, 15 years later, whatever.
But you got to think about all the artists. So whether it be the Wale's or whoever the case may be, the issue is that they are not disseminating information. They're treating it almost like a fraternity or sorority. Like, these are the things these are the lashes we took to cross the burning sands.
So you got to take
cross
it too.
the burning sands to get this information. And it's not until somebody who's going to be of service,
that's right,
who says, hey, listen, I want my city to win. So what I'm going to do is position my city to win by putting the people who can provide the information, giving them the resources, providing the contracts, or creating the infrastructure whereby if you go through this, you'll have the accountant, the lawyer, the manager, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I agree.
So that you can get on. And that's the problem that the city has right now. There's nobody in that position. Everybody who's in position that we think is in position, we got to think.
They may not be in position.
They just may be popular. And
they ain't got nothing going on.
Or they just want to look out for themselves.
There's a lot of popularity.
Interest in the artist on that side too. Like, if I just don't feel that artist, I don't feel him.
True.
But then it's something that I can say, man, come on this road with me.
That's very DC.
You know,
if you're not from DC, you wasn't born from a DC hospital, DC treats you a little bit different when you represent DC. We just seen it with Gary Russell and Devontae Davis situation. And the reality of the situation is people just got to be for the people from the area. You know what I'm saying?
It's tiresome. I just said that earlier. Y'all be so stuck on a damn zip code and award 74321. It don't matter. If a motherfucker get big and be on at the Grammys like, yeah, I'm from DC. Yeah, y'all need to be happy. Not over there talking about, well, he was born in Waldorf, and then he moved to Northwest, then he moved out of Northwest to Silver Spring.
Yeah, it's all DMV.
Like, it's just madness. Y'all so damn stuck on the damn zip code.
Absolutely.
Hold up, man. You just got on me. You just got on me a minute ago. When I mentioned Johnny Gill, when I mentioned Stacey Lattisaw, when I mentioned Tony Terry, when I mentioned all these people, you said they don't say where they from. So, god damn, which one you want?
No, I'm saying there's stuff.
She said, for example, like a Wale, he represented, he used to scream DC.
Right.
And people used to always try to say, man, he's from Motown.
Right. I don't disagree with that.
Take that DC, man.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I don't disagree with that.
It's all he's faking.
But I think we got to strike it. We got to strike a balance.
I get it.
The balance you got to strike is, you can have city pride. You can have home pride.
That's fine.
All I care about
DMV.
Well, hear me out. But what I care about is, like, for instance, you went to school. You actually went to school. To me, school is amazing. Knowledge is power.
Appreciate it.
Once I get ahead of that part of it, and I'm like, okay, I see what's going on. I seen all of these artists that failed before me. I seen all these people that failed before me. I need to understand that aspect of the business. I didn't say sit down and do books with an accountant.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter. If I grew up in, Timbuktu and I want to go to the Grammys and I win a Grammy and say, I am from motherfucking DC. Y'all bitches better be standing on the fucking couch.
Jade motherfucking Devil.
Like, it don't matter. If somebody wants to put the name of the DC on the map, let them. They spend so much time arguing about who is from here and where did they grow up.
Well, I think DC is more afraid. DC more afraid of robbery. You got Geo Scott, you got people like that who've taken our music, nothing bad, but they've taken the music and put it on a different, a whole nother scene. You got people like Jay-Z.
Yeah, and if they do that, then guess what? They lawsuits. Other people may get on them.
But is that good or bad? Because DC bites a lot of, like the covers we use are other people's music too. So I don't really.
I'm saying music universal. So at the end of the day, you just got to pay homage. You got to do business right.
I agree with that.
If you're going to do business.
I agree with that. But I think you should give, if you did a cover.
Yeah.
And it blew up.
Facts.
I mean, it really blew up.
Yeah.
then you're gonna say, hey, you know what? That was wrong shit.
Facts. Yeah, absolutely.
But
you bring up another good point though. You said the Grammys. My man said that the music industry is like a fraternity. Mm-hmm. The Grammys shit is like a fraternity too. It's a DC Grammy chapter where in order for your music to be in that genre, you need two people that are already on the Grammy board in order to write a letter on your behalf. There's some gatekeepers to all this shit.
That's right.
And so it's hard. Like unless I do something that goes extremely viral, then, you know, in order to go through the channels of writing a song here or writing an album and doing shows and then trying to submit my music to the Grammy board, it's hard. It's not, you know.
James, I got a challenge.
I got an answer for
I'm going to use you as you're the muse for what I'm saying for music. Right, so I've had the privilege of being around certain artists. Ebou knows the inside, so we'll leave it at that. And one of the things that I noticed is that one of these artists has been on since he was 14.
Okay.
Right? And one of the things that I've noticed is that the people that surround him have created an avenue for him to be light.
Okay.
The people that, where he is right now, if you knew how it happened, you would know that there were people who were willing just to be the shoulder.
Okay.
For him to continue to stand on.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What I think that DC needs, Maryland, DC, Virginia, what I think they need is not for the artists to look to someone to come in and do what they can do themselves, but for the artists to start to form relationships and create the environment whereby somebody says, hey, look, we got to support what they are doing. Like they are cultivating almost their own Grammy board. Where they are keeping their music, they are channeling and championing their music, right?
Yeah.
Right, themselves. Like each artist is supporting each artist is championing each artist, so that when you go to a Future band show, you got Backyard, you got Junkyard, you got every band that's in that and they showing love. Granted, they probably won't want to do that, but with the more unity that DC starts to show, or Maryland, DC, Virginia, DMV starts to show for their artists and them winning, I think it'll transcend. Now, granted, every place has their own situation.
Yeah.
Houston got their thing.
Yeah.
Texas got their thing. LA got their thing.
Yeah.
But when you start looking and seeing that in Texas or Houston and Dallas and LA and so on, they have artists or the Bay. They got artists that are millionaires. And they don't even go viral. They don't go on the radio. They're on the radio in their town.
Yeah.
They don't have to have nothing popping on any playlist.
He touched on that when he said a lot of artists don't leave here because they make a good living here.
But they got working together.
But you got like Kingpin Slam, you got A1 Flow, you got a lot of young boys. I mean, not young boys. I hate that term. Yeah. Young men, right? Who and women.
Yeah.
Who then blew up like Nitro, who wrote for people like Beyonce. I know people who have wrote for people that are right here that can't mention it. They can't mention it because they sold so much music. And guess what? And the girl was an excellent performer.
Yeah.
And they told her, keep writing.
Yeah.
Right.
They wasn't gonna let her in.
Right.
Yeah. The door was closed. See, like I said, I grew up watching Gil Scott-Heron. I grew up Marvin Gaye, people like that. DC has a rich heritage of music.
Yeah.
We already touched on that. In every city, from Nashville, all these joints, they have their own flavors. But what I did not know, right, what you said of how the Grammy, that you actually, in order to get to the next level or certain levels like that, you got to pass another. But it was something that it's not hard to figure. And I like to learn that. But everybody under you should know that.
Facts.
He got the spirit is why I said what I said to him. Right. People like you have a service-oriented spirit.
Yeah.
You don't come with an ego.
Right.
At all.
You know what you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what you bring to the table. You know it's unique for mothers. Some people are going to feel threatened by you because they're going to feel like they got to crush you or step to move to the side.
Yeah.
But you and individuals like you got the spirit to say, hey, look, if we come together, we could be a force. But if we keep staying individual, they can keep cherry picking. They can go cherry pick and go grab this R&B artist. They can go grab this writer. They can grab this producer. They can go grab this rap artist. They can keep cherry picking all day. We got mad musicians here, mad people here that are good and are doing big things in the industry. However, they keep cherry picking them because they can. Because they're not tied to nobody but the person that picked them on. You know what I'm saying? Like I had
CeeLo Green just did one. You know about CeeLo's?
What did he do?
You know CeeLo just did that, George?
Yeah.
You heard about it?
Yeah.
Nah, what happened?
CeeLo Green, now, he about to put he about to put a record out or some music out. And the content he got is a lot of go-go music here. Telling y'all people what he didn't pay, what I paid for a watch for everybody and all the music he did. I'm horrified that,
you know what?
that people did that and allow him to do that, but he about to put this music out, and I'm saying it right now on Smokes and Tingz. You dig? This is for real a crime when music is stolen. It is a crime. You know what I mean? And he actually did studio time with people here, and you're gonna see this. You can Google it. It's gonna pop right up. CeeLo Green, all this go-go content he about to put out, and he didn't pay them. When I tell you he didn't do anything for them guys, CeeLo, if you listening, which you probably not, but if you are listening, man, be fair. Be fair. Do the right thing. Theft is theft. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, I'm calling the way it is. I don't want to see any of you guys getting robbed. Yeah. It's blood, sweat, and tears that went into the work they do. You know what I mean? Facts. And for you to do that and pay him a cold soda, that's some sucker ass shit. It really is.
Facts. Agreed.
I'm going to say something that's probably going to be uncouth, but you can't tell another man what their worth is. And go-go scene has definitely started to, it's never going to die because it's like embedded in DC, but a lot of people are hungry. They're real fucking hungry. So if somebody like CeeLo Green says to me, hey, I'm going to give you $10,000 to play on this album. You don't get no back-end money. You don't get no percentages off each thing. Somebody might just take that shit.
That's facts. That's facts.
Like, I'm just saying real shit. And I remember a time I grew up off go-go.
And people had, man.
I grew up off go-go for real, like really from here. And I remember a time that as a new artist coming to DC, you was not even allowed to do no club hostings or nothing if you did not do a go-go club. Like, you would have to do basically like a go-go hosting. Like, you play with Backyard or TCB, and you come out, do a couple of your 2 songs or whatever, and then, maybe you could do another host and come back here and do something at another club. It's not like that no more. I don't even remember the last time I seen somebody, like a big mainstream artist, going to being at a TCB show or a Backyard show.
Don't do that. I went to the Drake concert, and he brought out what's it called?
Which Drake concert?
Well, I know something.
I was at the Drake concert. He brought out, the last thing he brought out was Genghis in there. He brought out G in there, and I'm talking about the place was fire.
I mean, in DC, it's not about doing it in DC.
Yeah, but I'm talking about...
Do it in Toronto.
But still...
do it in North Carolina. Do it in LA. Do it in Miami. We already know. Like everybody always brings out Backyard in DC, no matter who the artist is. That's not a thing.
Okay, well, slowly roll.
Take it to LA.
Jay-Z, listen, hear me out. Jay-Z went on tour. I think he went on tour a few years back when he was on tour. He used a full band.
Yeah.
No. We're not talking about the Roots there. Jay-Z went on tour. And when he went on tour.
Who did he take?
I don't know who the band was. You know why I don't know who the band was? Because he didn't introduce it. That's because, look, and it was crazy because I watched another podcast with Benny Siegel on it. And I don't know whatever problems they got with each other. It is what it is. But when he pointed out that fact, he said as powerful and as big as Jay-Z is, he said when that particular... He said, because the guy was like, well, he don't owe you anything. You didn't grow up with him and all this kind. He said, you're right. He said, but he performed with a full band. Do you know any of the people he performed with, or do you know the name of the band? The guy was like, no. He said, but you went to 10 of the concerts supporting them. He was like, I did. He said, but why don't you know any of them? What I'm trying to say is that intentionally sometimes you can get overshadowed by people who are so big and you may not want that. DC has always been so glad that we were able to keep our music to ourselves. We almost been greedy with it. You know what I'm saying? And we've been like, this is mine, this is ours. So we didn't care if it didn't go mainstream. We seen Doing the Butt and EU and them on certain jumps. We watch DC Cab with Junkyard and stuff like that. I can name all of the jumps that I remember seeing, and all of these great bands out here and these great artists. But at the same time, all I'm saying, young brothers, educate yourself a little bit on the business side of it, and all the deals you make, right, will be it'll be better information provided to you, and you make a better decision. Right. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna let a kid that shoot hoop. If he nice with the hoop, I'm not gonna let him sign something to say he never get paid for hoop.
People are greedy though. Because if you say no, guess what? There's somebody else that's going to take 10,000 and mind their motherfucking business.
You hit those
and don't
10,000.
want nobody.
Guess what?
I'm saying I don't know exactly what the figures are, but I'm just saying
it was in the hundreds. That's what I'm trying to. That's what it's bothering me.
Some people not worried about that, about the bigger picture.
Bothered me because a friend of mine, he was involved in all that and was asked to do it, and he said he wasn't going to sell out. He wasn't going to sell out. He's not an artist though. He was a manager of a band, and so he had put it out there. Hey, guess what? I'm not doing that. And he told me what CeeLo was doing. And I was like, are you serious? And then it's crazy because a week ago, CeeLo made the announcement. So imagine me hearing this a year or so ago. As to the content that he had gotten, and then hearing it now, how the brothers and sisters were not compensated for that kind of work they put in. And he's about to make millions off of it.
I mean, again, that goes to educating yourself, having a manager or somebody that's going to be like, that doesn't sound right, and I'm not going to do that. Right. That's it. Like at the end of the day, that's really it. CeeLo did what was best for him.
Yeah. And his
for me,
business.
I'm gonna make every dime I can make out of whatever. Now, I'm not like
distribution, everything.
As an artist or a A&R or a music executive, that's their job. It's not their job to make you rich.
Yeah.
You gotta make you rich because that's not their fucking job. Educate yourself, get the right shit. YouTube University. At the end of the day, everybody got their phones. It's not 1984 anymore. You don't have to go to an encyclopedia and read for 10,000 days.
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube University. You type it in, they'll tell you what you need to know.
Yeah.
Period. So there's no excuses at this point in time anymore. Like there isn't. So whoever that deal didn't work for with CeeLo, that's their fault. I'm not even gonna lie. That is their fault. Because there's no way you're gonna come to me with a crazy deal and I'm just gonna be like, oh, it's CeeLo. Okay, all right, you $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000.
$1,500,
and you're making
whatever it
$15 million, you're out of your goddamn motherfucking mind. I need $2.5 million right now. And then I need on the back end, whatever's made on the back end, I need 15% of that and blah, 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 blah. Somebody got to talk for you if you don't know that language.
What I'm saying,
that's it.
Hear me out. From what I'm getting, it was trickery more opposed to.
But that's their fault. You have to have somebody in front of you that knows the trick.
What I'm saying, listen, if I can get James to get up and sing 5 songs in a studio, you just sung 5 songs in the studio. I just paid you a ace of spade, and we sitting here smoking tree.
Yeah.
And you just got paid.
I just showed you a good time. That's it.
Say it again. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This shit is deeper than that. And to me, we got to start holding people accountable when they do trick robbery. Trick robbery is trick robbery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stealing your intellectual property is stolen. It's theft. It's theft as sort of I went in his pocket and ripped his pocket out.
Yeah.
And don't tell me that he got to be smarter to see me coming. If I'm famous, I'm cunning, I'm slick, I'm coming in here, I'm here.
Yeah.
You want to be around me. You want to learn from me. But I'm gonna teach you how not to get raped again. Because I'm going to rape you.
Okay. Well, ciao.
It's two things that are right at the same time. It's two things that are right. Yes.
I'm over my
educate ourselves or be around people who are more educated. Right. But at the same time, it's like we have to hold people accountable who comes in and tries to do that as well. So I think everybody's right.
Yeah, I'm saying everybody right. Everybody had good points, man, and everybody, chimed in. And we just trying to get the information to the people, man.
We got to get him back. We got to get him back, man.
So where does your band play
tell us,
this week?
What's going on?
What's going on this week? What's the schedule?
Future Band.
New content. What's going on?
The Future Band DC, all
That's
that.
right.
Friday, y'all make sure y'all come out support Union Oyster Bar. We will be out there. Shout out to my man Ebou Taal who put us on that jump. We gonna have a good time. 9 o'clock.
Which one?
At Union Oyster Bar.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yep.
The old Layla.
Yeah.
The old man. Well, Layla was a good time. Man.
Hey, go ahead.
They got crazy in there.
No question.
Layla was a good time. But if y'all in the city, man, make sure y'all pull up on Friday, 9 p.m. is when we click sticks, man. We'll have a good time.
Yep. My man. You still doing more and more and stuff like that or no?
No, there's conversations happening.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this conversation.
But I remember
The Mondays was jumping
first time I seen you guys,
The Mondays was the Mondays.
Oh my God.
We had a
good food, good drink, and good music.
Yeah, it was a beautiful
Hell of a combination.
It was an amazing situation.
It's gonna come back in another form.
Yeah.
We're working on situations.
That first one though, man. Listen, so
I never got to make it though. I was mad. I always saw it on Instagram, and I never got to make it.
Fire, ready, slim, fire.
Vibe.
So if you don't mind, I gotta tell the story.
Please.
So my band had an event planned where we had 300 people RSVP for the event.
Mm-hmm.
At Moorwood?
No,
Somewhere
hold
else.
on. So we had this event planned. 300 people already locked in saying they coming in. The venue falls through. I pick up the phone. I say, Ebou, let's have a conversation. Ebou say, meet me over here at Moi Moi. I pull up to Moi Moi. I said, this is the situation. I got the people. I need the venue. He said, say less. What are you talking about? What do you mean? It's already done. All you had to do is tell me. That first day we pulled up, man, it was bananas. It was chaos.
Zoo.
It was a zoo.
Oh my God.
It was such a beautiful event, and the food was good. There was no problems in the building. We had a good time, man, and that just speaks to Ebou and the type of person he is, man. He's been the same person I've known since the beginning. If I needed something, or if he thought that there was an opportunity that made sense for us, he always showed up. And I just want to say out loud, I appreciate you just for being who you are, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely, bro.
I appreciated you guys for real, because it was the beginning of actually this Friday is the 1 year anniversary.
Oh wow!
Wow.
And you
Shout
guys,
out to Moi Moi.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all made it known for good music and good food.
No,
it was
sure.
known
On Monday.
Yeah.
It was nothing going on Monday.
That's crazy, wasn't it?
Doing that.
It was a vibe, and it was. I've actually never done anything like that, because the cohesion and the everything was just right.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
It's perfect.
It was great.
It's perfect.
I missed those Mondays a lot.
Yeah.
But they're definitely coming back bigger and better. Trust me, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
So,
More
stay
details
tuned.
about
I love the Future Band. I love what they do. They're a big band in DC as far as with the horns and the guitars and obviously the singing and the vibe and everything. So
yes, sir.
There'll definitely be
more of that
to come for sure.
In some capacity.
Yeah, so follow the Future Band DC.
Yep,
Yes.
Future Band DC.
Future, not the.
Yeah.
Future Band DC. James Instagram, we'll put it on our pages.
Yeah.
Definitely. We had another subject that we're gonna go to, but we're gonna save that for next time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But I appreciate you, my brother.
My man.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy belated.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get the edited version of this so we can really, I love it. Man.
It was a great conversation, man. I appreciate y'all allowing me to be
Lots of
here.
information.
Yeah, great information.
Great information.
And my man watches crazy. Yeah.
James the Poet, let's go. Future Band, come on.
Yeah, man. It was a good conversation, man.
Yeah, why I don't get a chance.
Every day a new day, move things, do things like my life a movie. Hey. Every day new day, move things, do things like my life a movie. Hey. Every day a new day, move things, do things like my life a movie. Hey. Every day new day, move things, do things like my life a movie. Hey. Pull up in a big man range, straight to the stage, make a big man play. Trade 5 others, our big man J.